Welcome back to the Itsy Game Series. In this episode, so to speak, we're going to be adding a zoom feature to Itsy. So what we want to happen is we want Itsy, when we jump, we want the camera to pull back so that way the player gets a better view of the play area. And then when we land, we want that view to come back down. And so we're going to use some FinTerp in order to get that camera to get where we want it to go. And then also while we're here, we're going to go ahead and add collision to the pipe asset because I'm kind of getting tired of Itsy like falling through the walls as we're testing. So it should be a relatively easy, quick video. We're going to make a couple of functions and we're going to get them to work. And we're going to make Itsy do cool things. So let's get over to Visual Studio and make that happen. Okay, so here we are in Visual Studio. So what we're going to be working with is going to be our base character. So Itsy base character.h and .cpp. So in order to get the camera to pan the way we'd like it to zoom in and zoom out, we're going to need a couple of variables. So we're going to go down, we'll go down into here into protected, and we're going to go view property, and we're going to say edit defaults only, because we only want this to be editable by the class overall. We only want it once. And then blueprint read only, because we don't want to change this value outside. So we're going to do a float, and it's going to be max cam distance. Okay. And we'll set this to 1500 F for now. And then we're going to go ahead and stick this in the camera category. Okay. And then we're going to need a minimum as well. So you edit defaults only. It's the same thing. Blueprint read only. Because we're not planning on changing this within the blueprints. Okay. Note. And distance. Okay. And then we'll set that to 750. Okay. All right. So now that we have that set, we can actually go back and refactor this a little bit, this target arm length here for the cam boom. We're going to get rid of that because we don't need this anymore. So, because we will be using our new function to do that. So we have the max cam distance and the minimum cam distance. And then I'm going to want private variable. So you property, and then it's a float, and then it's current. Actually, we'll do target cam distance. We're going to set that to 0 to the minimum and cam distance. So initially we want that to be the minimum cam distance. So like when the guy is sitting on the ground, we want it to be whatever that local variable is, or that close variable is. So anyway, so we've got that set up. That should work out. Those are the variables we're going to need to work with. And now we need to create a couple of functions. So we'll go down here, and actually these are, we can leave them in private functions. So view function. Okay, and this is going to be, we'll start with kind of a wrapper function. We're only going to put one thing in there right now, but later on we'll have extra stuff. So I just want that to be in there. So we're going to do a void and then update. So this will give me the flexibility later to go in and change things. So like, you'll see as we get there. So view function, okay, void, update, distance. Okay. So now We got our two functions there, one to update the camera overall, and then one just to do the camera distance. So then we can come back over to our CPP file, and then we're gonna create those. So let's say Itsy update camera, Itsy update cam distance. Okay, so now we have the camera and the camera distance set. So we'll go up into our we'll go into, we want tick. Where's tick? There is tick. Okay. So tick gets called every frame. So for a lot of things, tick is not appropriate, but we want the camera distance to be really like really responsive. Like that's something we're going to notice as a player. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that in tick. So we're going to say update camera. Okay. All right, so now we've got update camera is getting called, and update camera we'll call update camera distance. So later on we'll have additional things that get updated with the camera, but for now this is perfect. Okay, so now for the update camera distance, what we want to do is the first thing we want to know is, are we falling, right? So because if the character is in the air, we want the camera to, pull back so that way we get a better view of the gameplay space. And then when the character is static laying on the ground, we want it to pull in so that way, we can see close on the character. So what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to do is, like I said, check to see if we're in the air. So we're going to go if, and then we're going to do get movement. Because the movement component already checks to see whether or not we're in the air with is falling. Is falling. So is B is falling. Is falling. All right, let's see here. It is falling. Okay, yeah, that should be the right one. That should return whether or not we're falling or not. And so if get falling is equal to, actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do this a little different. Let's see here. Get movement component dot is falling, and then we're gonna go. We're just gonna put this together. So if it's true, it's going to, we want the target cam distance to equal the max cam distance. And then it's false. We want the target cam distance to equal the minimum cam distance. So what that's going to do is when it does its normal check, it's going to check to see if we're falling. And if it is falling, we're going to do the max distance. If we're not falling, we're going to do the minimum distance for that target. And then we want to double check to see if we're already at that distance, because if we're already like pretty close to that distance, we're good. So like if let's see here. Let me check my notes, make sure I'm getting the right function. So yeah, here we go. If, and then we want to pull the FMath, and then we want is nearly equal. So because since we're using a lerp to get closer and closer and closer, it's going to get, the value is going to get smaller. So we want it close. So we can adjust the air tolerance later if we need to, but I don't think we're going to need to. So is nearly equal. We're going to say the target cam distance and the cam boom target arm length. So if that's nearly equal, we're going to go ahead and break out because we don't need to do anything more. But if they're not equal, we continue on doing our work. So we're going to go cam boom dot target arm length. It's going to be equal to another FMath. And we're going to finterp. Finterp. So that's gonna basically scale us. It's gonna bring us closer and closer to where we want to be. So we take the current, which is going to be the target arm distance. So it's cam boom, target arm length. And then the target is going to be the target cam distance we just set already. For the interp speed, you know what? I want to be able to play with this, so we're going to go ahead and set this in the default up here as well. So we're going to take U property, then we're going to edit defaults only, blueprint read only, category equal camera. We're going to do a float. And we're going to say cam zoom speed. And then we'll equal that to, let's say 0.85 for now. All right. And then we'll go in here and then it's cam zoom speed. So that's the, oh, no, I got it backwards. We need the delta time first. So get world. Dot get delta seconds. There we go. Should clear up now. So there you go. The cam room is going to go ahead and finterp into the correct distance using the delta world seconds and the speed that we set. And that should work. All right, so at begin play, we'll probably want to update the camera. Yeah, so begin play, so that way update camera. So begin play, the first thing it's going to do is go ahead and update the camera, and then it'll go probably update it again for that first tick, but beyond that, it'll be great. So then it'll automatically put us where we need to be. So let's give this a whirl. Let's see if I got anything wrong and whether everything worked out. Well, looks like it's compiling. That's a good start. Okay. Give her a whirl. Let's play. See whether Itsy does what we're supposed to do. Look at that. And she zooms in. And she zooms out. And she zooms in. And we can play around with these values now because we set the variables that we wanted to. You'll see over here camera distance. So say I want to come out a bit farther. We're at 2500. Let's set the cam zoom speed to 1. Okay, and that should make it a bit more aggressive. Yeah, look at that. Zoop. Yeah. That should work just fine. See? Go Itsy. So while I'm here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and fix the blocking here. I'm gonna see if we can just go ahead and add some collision to our box. So we'll go to our assets. We'll go to our pipe. This might mess with the camera. If it does, then I'll probably do it in another video. So collision, let's add a box collision. Okay, and then I should see if I remember the buttons here. There should be scale selected objects, so scale it. There we go. Go ahead and turn the scale down so that way it's a little better. Okay, so there's that one. Then we'll just go ahead and put this in place. Okay, and then I should be able to, I can't remember if I can duplicate that or not. I cannot. Okay. All right, so then I'm going to add collision again. So add a box. And we'll scale this one on the Y. Make that all nice and down. There we go, right there. Looks about right. And then I'll do basically one for each side. Okay. Kind of bring them in just a hair. Just kind of tired of Itsy falling through every time we play test, so just kind of giving her a little something to bounce against. Okay, that should work. Okay, now let's see if this works. Yep, Itsy gets stuck there. She doesn't fall. Yeah, okay. So now Itsy is no longer jumping through the walls. Okay, so we accomplished what we were trying to do. I know this was kind of a quick one, but Itsy now like zooms when we jump and zooms back in when we're close, when we land. So this will work out pretty well. So in the next video, I think we're going to go ahead and get the blocks to start falling. We'll start generating things to jump on. So that should be exciting. That'll be a bit more involved, but it should be fun. If you have any questions, concerns, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And thanks for watching.